Cash One Pawn, Missoula's #1 pawn shop.
You want money? We got money. You need money? We got money. We're cash.
Do yourself a favor and make Cash One Pawn part of your online shopping habits. Cash One Pawn has an awesome online inventory, everything from firearms to power tools to speaker equipment to jewelry. Visit Cash One Pawn today.
Cash One Pawn.
8720 Roller Coaster Road, CashOnePawn.com.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up. Oh, yeah.
Are you paying too much in taxes? Elevated Tax and Accounting is a firm that specializes in tax planning and strategy to minimize your tax bill. Elevated Tax consult with you on tax strategy throughout the year, so no more waiting until the end of the year and hoping for the best. As a business owner, you know your sole focus should be spent working on your business, not in it. Outsourcing gives you the time to concentrate on the core reasons you started your company, to create and innovate a top-tier product and generate profits. Elevated Tax and Accounting, elevating you and your business with a modern professional touch.
Bill thought this would be a great idea to kind of give a little bit of review of last year and then kind of a state of athletics, where we are today, obviously in this ever-changing world of college athletics. Just kind of talk about, where Montana State is. And so, first of all, I'd just like to start with a kind of a review of last year, and so proud of all of our teams and how they compete. And I think that's signified by finishing second in the Big Sky All Sports standings on both sides, the men and the women. To me, that really signifies that our programs are competing for championships, and they're competing in the way that we like. But there are a few of them that I'd really like to highlight. Obviously, the historic seasons that football and women's basketball had. Obviously, Big Sky records in wins, but they had some really neat accomplishments in there as well. Both of our coaches were conference coaches of the year. Esmeralda Morales was honorable mention All-American. That's the first one we've had in a really, really long time on the women's basketball side. Obviously, we all know the football accolades, but with Coach Vegan being named the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year, Tommy Millott with the Walter Payton Award, Brody Grebe was the FCS ADA Scholar Athlete of the Year, but was also a finalist for the Campbell Trophy. And both of those two athletes were also academic All-Americans. So not only getting it done on the field, but they're also getting it done in the classroom. And football overall had 10 All-Americans. Maddie Montoya in women's golf was our first NCAA qualifier, winning the Big Sky tournament. Golf continues to impress us, setting scoring records, having individuals win multiple tournaments in a sport where they don't play a single round of golf in the state of Montana all spring long. Track and field continues to do what they do, continue to impress us. Bill and I were looking through some of the stats. So in 2025, the track and field program set 25 school records. It's just remarkable when you look at the history of our track and field program and the success that we've had, to see 25 different records on the record board in the Brick Breeden Fieldhouse is truly remarkable. We had 11 national qualifiers, and again, 10 All-Americans in track and field. 11 All-Americans in skiing, a 5th place national finish for skiing. And rodeo continues to build on their success. They had the second most qualifiers to the CNFR. We expect some great things out of rodeo. But in total, really proud of all of our programs and kind of where they've set us up. One of my goals, when I got here, and one of the goals that we talk about with all of our coaches is we want people that when they see Montana State on the schedule, that they know that they're in for a dogfight, that they're in for a battle. And I think every one of our programs has responded to that, and they're all competing at a high level for championships. But in total, 32 MSU student athletes were named All-American. They earned a 3.42 GPA in both semesters, and 3 of those were named academic All-American. So a truly remarkable year again for the Bobcats. This year we're entering a new era, and we welcome President Tessman here during the month of July, and he's already hit the ground running. He's taken the proverbial baton and he just started running with it. We held our MSU night up at Big Sky for PBR. He was there with us, and I tell you, the way he interacted with the fans and our donors, it's going to be fun to work with President Tessman. Obviously, his love for athletics. He was a collegiate runner. He wants nothing but the best for this institution, but also very supportive of athletics, and we're looking forward to working with President Tessman as we move forward. We have one new coach that I'd like to highlight. Luckily, we only had to hire one new coach here this year, but welcome Haley Barrett on the women's tennis side. She is here, she is recruiting, and we're looking forward to supporting Haley this year as well. So I want to talk about this building. We're looking at, don't quote me on this, but we're looking at the third week of August to host our grand opening. We would love to be able to get this open before all of our student athletes start classes, so that way when they're here on campus for class, the building is open and being used. There are a few small details that we have left to finish, but that is our hope. So look at the week of August 18th or so that we would have our grand opening. But as you know, this is all part of a plan that we put into place in 2017. So we did our strategic plan. Part of that strategic plan was a facility master plan. We had a lot of different things that were part of it. Starting with the Bobcat Athletic Complex that we opened in 2021. Then there were a variety of different things that allowed us to do in the field house, from locker rooms and the academic center, renovations to the weight room and the training room there. We opened up a wellness center for our dietitian and for our certified sports psychologist. That really opened the door then to really focus on this. This was a need that we've had for a long time, with our expectations to have a quality indoor track experience, but also to compete in the FCS playoffs and win a national championship in football. We needed the space to be able to get good quality work done in a safe, climate-controlled area. This space really allows us to do that. And for all of those projects that we've had, I got to thank our donors for allowing us, one, to think big, but also supporting us to follow through with all of these projects. A couple other things, obviously the new video board in the stadium that we all got to witness last year. And then we also announced for the stadium this year, which should start here the second week of August, is that we have a new structure going in the north end zone, which will replace our cabana area, but also add about 250 premium seats for Bobcat fans. As we all know, season tickets are sold out, so any extra seats that we can have in that building for us is a win. And so we're looking forward to getting that project started. But with all of that, and with all these projects that we've completed, we are in the process of updating our facility master plan. And so late this summer, early part of fall, we will be releasing an update to our facility master plan with probably some projects on there that you expect, but also with some new projects of how we'd like to grow and expand what we're doing in athletics. And I'd like to thank 45 Architecture here in Bozeman and Nations Group out of Scottsdale, Arizona for helping us with that. And finally, on the financial side, with all the challenges that we have faced in college athletics and the changing landscape, we continue to raise the bar. We had the largest budget for MSU athletics that we've ever had this past year, but we also came in budget again. And so I'd like to think we are very good stewards of the money that, one, we receive from the university, but also from ticket sales and sponsorships and our donors. We put it to good use, but we're also very good stewards of it, and we come in very responsibly when we're talking about our budget. But we also, part of that is we raise more than 60% and generate more than 60% of our annual operating budget every year. And in large part, that's due to hitting record numbers in sponsorships, in ticket sales, in donations, and capital projects such as this. So a huge shout out to one, our supporters, the university, for supporting athletics in a way to think and operate in a championship level. And so with that, that's kind of where we are in MSU athletics. I'd open up for any questions that anybody has.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Town Pump. Right down the road. Pump it up.
Big Sky Breakdown, proudly presented by the Bobcat Collective at Montana State. The Bobcat Collective is the NIL collective that serves Montana State University student athletes. The collective has partnered with Montana State to connect fans, alumni, businesses, and local nonprofits with Montana State student athletes. Opportunities through the collective allow student athletes to earn compensation while serving the greater Montana State University community. Sign up now for memberships and enjoy automatic entry into raffles for free tickets while supporting the bright minds at Montana State. They have multiple different membership tiers, and you can also be a one-time supporter, and you can also business partner or corporate supporter. Visit bobcatcollective.com for more.
Kind of breaking in a new president. Given that he is a former athlete himself, I'm curious, in your communications with him so far, have you seen how, or if at all, his own athletic background kind of influences how he approaches athletics from his position?
For sure. And we've had multiple meetings, on campus already, primarily focused on opting into the house settlement, getting our ducks in a row, if you will, with our agreements with student athletes, with how we're going to logistically pay these student athletes, from a campus perspective. The one thing I can tell you about him is that I can think he pulled from being a college athlete is communication. He loves teamwork. He brings people in, the right people around the table to have these conversations and to talk through situations and scenarios and how it's going to affect us. And from day one, he's been that. He's been a collaborator and very inclusive leader, involving everybody that needs to be at the table to make decisions. And I can only see that getting better moving forward.
And from your perspective, kind of in trying to bring him up to speed, are there things that you identify he needs to know about these as it relates to MSU kind of right away, and then you put other things to the side, he can learn about these when he's been here for 2 months or 3 months later? What do you identify as the things that he needs to know about MSU athletics right away?
Yeah, I think they're all the things that we talked about, the hot topics, the trends that are going on in college athletics right now. We've really focused on how MSU is positioned and focused on how can we get better, how can we better position ourselves. And you're exactly right. There may be some things that we don't have to worry about right now because they're not a hot topic. But there are definitely some things that, whether it's conference legislation, NCAA legislations, that we need to maybe look at in a different way to better position ourselves moving forward. And he's been all open and all ears for those conversations. And so all I can say is very, very supportive of everything that we are doing, very supportive of what we've done and accomplished. And very thankful and fortunate to be walking into a situation that we have, but also very competitive, and he wants to continue to move the bar forward and set the bar even higher. And I appreciate that. Somebody that has an athletic mindset that is competitive like us makes the working relationship very easy.
So much of this is probably driven by football, but how do you sort of cultivate a holistically competitive athletic department? What are the factors that have gone into you guys being good at all the sports, and why is that important to you?
Yeah, I think it's supporting them in a way where they can be successful, and I think it comes down to communication and understanding what each sport needs, one, annually, but also looking at it a little bit in longevity over the course of 3 and 5 years on what they think they're going to need to be successful, and then working with them to provide the resources that they need in order to do that. And those conversations happen every day, and I think we're on the same page and on the same footing with all of our programs. I think when we do facility projects such as this, they see the byproduct of it. So take the BAC, for example. Yes, it looks like a football facility because of its location and because of the things the amenities that are in there, but also it's available to every single student athlete that we have. But the byproduct of that is all the different things that we were able to do in the Brick Green Fieldhouse to affect and positively impact all of the other student athletes. And so I think we've kind of held our word when it comes to all of these improvements. We definitely are going to have priorities, but they are going to impact everybody across the board. And I think that's why you see all of our programs hitting historical marks over these last 8, 9, 10 years, is because I think that they would tell you the same thing, is that they've been supported in a way that they feel they need in order to win and compete for championships.
Football specifically has been such an arms race, even if only a couple, maybe a dozen teams are participating in it. How important is a facility like this to keep pace in that arms race?
Yeah, for me, it's not. It ends up being an arms race. I don't consider it an arms race. I consider this building a need if we want to win a championship. And if we want to play into December and January, we got to have a space like this where we can get quality work done. I think it came to a head when we went to Brookings, South Dakota. They had an indoor facility. They could get inside and get some work done, go outside for a little bit, get acclimated to the weather. We're outside on a frozen field, and we're trying to get practice in on that at all times of our practice. Now we have kind of the same advantage, of that, is where we can come inside, get the work done. If we're hosting a playoff game that's here, we can get acclimated to the weather very, very easily. So not so much an arms race to keep up in terms of facilities, but in terms of competitiveness, it was definitely.
Going off that, can you just reiterate the makeup of this field and the importance of the end zones? About that?
Yeah, so the building, at its core is a 6-lane, 300-meter track. Has all the amenities for track and field to be able to practice and host events in here. And then on the inside, the field is 100 yards, 80-yard field with 2 end zones. And yes, it was important for us to have the 2 end zones because as you break up football practice and are practicing on each end, having end zones, one for the defense and one for the offense for scoring plays was vitally important. And so having 100 yards was first and foremost. And as you guys watch, you can tell it's plenty big. To be able to do the things that you need to do at that time. And especially the time that our teams are going to be in here are going to be later in the season where they've gotten all of their conditioning and things done. They're really trying to fine tune their game plan, and this facility sets up perfectly.
You spoke about this. I need you just expand on what this brings as far as opportunities for the community.
Yeah, so one of the best things about this is we were talking to some of our donors. One of the things that they were very interested in, and one of the ways in which they were going to get involved is if we were going to open this up to the community. Because our community doesn't have a space like this anywhere. And really, if you look throughout the state, there are very few opportunities where people can get inside. And so a lot of them gave because once our practice times are done, we will open this up to sporting groups that need to come inside and get work done. So you look at lacrosse groups and soccer groups and baseball groups, softball groups, all those people that need to practice in February, March, and even in April when the weather isn't good, they now have a space where they can come and get inside. It's kind of our bridge again to the community. I think the university as a land grant institution serves this community, this state, and this region so well. This is a way that athletics can do the same thing with people in our community and really throughout the state of Montana, that they can come in and use this as well. And so it's us being able to say, one, thank you for how you support us. Now maybe we can kind of return the favor and really support them as well.
You guys just recently started your non-conference games for next year. Anything you can say about the process, especially
maybe not so much about those two. It's you got to try and make it fit. It's got to work with them. I can just tell you, right now conference scheduling just scheduling in general is hard. Trying to get people to come to Bozeman, Montana, or really come to any Big Sky institution is hard. Because we are, the furthest western playing football conference in the FCS. But again, going back to what Tom Wistersill said at Big Sky football kickoff, that's one of the reasons we looked at going to 9 conference games. With the advent of 12 regular season games, adding another conference games minimizes our efforts in trying to go out and schedule non-conference games. And so I was a big proponent of that. Because they're teams that are in our region. They will help us when it comes to football playoffs, to the FCS playoffs. And it limits us to how many non-conference games that we need to get. And so we'll schedule anybody. We love scheduling competitive teams that want to come in and play. We love scheduling teams that just want to come in and experience this environment. And we hear that a lot when we're on the phone with them, is we sell our environments every time that we're on the phone. And it's not one that everybody gets to experience at this level, and so for us it's very advantageous to play off of that and show it off a little bit.
I guess speaking of that, from obviously 12-game season, the 3 non-conference games, you guys were kind of in favor of that move in terms of the non-conference games, 3 non-conference.
For sure, like I said, scheduling non-conference games even with 3 of them is hard. I think when you have 12 games, 9 conference games, you have 9 set FCS games. It opens the door to try and go out and play more FBS teams. We had to be very cautious of where we slotted our FBS teams. Home and homes became very, very hard because, playing at home is one thing, but then if you go on the road for an FCS team, we can't have an FBS game in there because we had to have 6 home games, one to maximize our budget. This year we have 7, and if we can do 7 games more often, we'll certainly look at that. But I think the makeup of it now, there's a lot of flexibility that it provides us in order to get the schedule done year in and year out.
Let's do one more if there is one.
How pressing is getting more seats and adding to capacity, and what's kind of the status of the East Side grandstand?
Yeah, so great question, and it plays into kind of what I was talking about here. Obviously, the stadium will be a heavy component of our new facility master plan that we'll release here shortly. With the demand that we have on tickets, we know that we have people that are trying to come in and buy single game tickets. We hear it all the time, but when you sell out your season tickets, there's a very limited number of season or single game tickets that are available. So adding to the stadium is probably priority number 1, and we are going to work hard on that. As soon as we get more of the details, that'll be probably priority number 1, and we're gonna push the envelope to try and get something done. And it's also providing a better experience too, right? Providing more amenities like restrooms and concession stands and gathering areas where you can do all that stuff inside the stadium. So we're taking a look at how do we maximize more seats, how do we maximize premium areas, how do we maximize gathering areas to really appeal to the entire fan, and I think football here has become an event. And we have a lot of people that are diehard football fans and they don't miss a game, but we have a lot of people that love being a part of this event, and so we have to be able to create spaces so they can enjoy the game in the way that they want to view it as well. And so all of that will be part of that plan.
Athletes with MSU ties at U.S. Outdoor Track and Field Nationals that start this week.
Yeah.
I suppose in as much as this is an investment in football, of course it is also in track. I'm curious just how much the department sees like the importance of supporting that program in this way also, maybe in hopes of providing more athletes with the opportunity to get to where these athletes are this week.
Well, I think when you hear the kind of the stats of what track has accomplished over the course of the last 5, 6, 7 years, but really in their history, that this year alone, 25 school records and 11 qualifiers, 10 All-Americans, it's remarkable what they're doing. But those athletes now have an opportunity to compete against the world, right? And I can envision this place becoming a training ground for track athletes that want to come. They want to train at elevation and they want to get that experience in, and then they go down at sea level and they compete. So I can see this becoming a really cool kind of track and field hub for those that are competing at that level. But it also will allow our student athletes then to practice with them, to compete against them when they're here as well. We're producing, those athletes. We have track athletes going to the Olympic trials all the time. We have track athletes competing for national championships. I only expect that to grow with a facility like this.
All right, Leon, thanks.